Max Verstappen has finally broken his silence about all the rumors that have been floating around for months. No more sources talking. No more secret messages from Helmut Marko that sounded like someone writing a breakup letter. This time, Max spoke for himself. What he said made everyone pay even more attention to 2026, the year that could change everything. But the real question is, does this mean Max is staying at Red Bull for good? Or has he left the door open for a move to Aston Martin? Let's get into it carefully because Max's words, while simple, tell a very big story. After months of endless guessing and gossip, where everyone was asking if Max had messaged Lawrence Stroll back or not, Verstappen finally decided it was time to say something real. The rumors about him to ignore. So, when Max spoke at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, everyone listened closely. He kept his usual calm and relaxed style, and even showed a bit of annoyance that people thought there would be some big drama. Max said, "People need something to write about," brushing off the $300 million rumors like it was just some silly story about him dating a celebrity. But then Max dropped a line that got everyone talking even more. He said, "That doesn't mean you should run away if things don't go your way." Now, what did he mean by that? Was he a general piece of advice? Whatever the meaning, it sounded like Max still has belief in Red Bull. Maybe he isn't as blindly loyal as he was a few years ago, but he hasn't given up on them either. It's like he is saying, let's at least try to fix things before we walk away. Max was honest about Red Bull's problems too. He admitted, we're not where we want to be yet, and he made it clear that behind the scenes, he is still working hard to help fix things. But then came the real surprise. Max said, "It's quite possible that we'll have everything under control in 2026. That is a big year for Red Bull because it's when they will start using their own engines made with Ford's help." So basically, Max is saying that even if things are tough now, the big plan is still there, and he's giving the team time to show they can make it happen. Even though Max does without shouting that he expects them to fix the problems, he is giving them a window of opportunity. If they can build a good enough car, if they can get the engine right, and if they changed. This season, Max has only won one race so far. That's not normal for him. The car is the end of this season. He doesn't have to stay until 2028, even though that's what the hard to keep Max happy. Mintzlaff recently made a statement saying that Max has made it clear he wants to continue with Red Bull and that nothing has changed. But if you listen carefully, you'll notice that Max never said he's staying for sure. He said he might stay if Red Bull fixes the problems. Mintzlaff is holding on to every small positive word like it's a promise. Maybe that's hope. Maybe it's just smart business. Maybe it's a bit of both. Red Bull knows they need Max Verstappen, not just because he's fast and wins races, but because he is the face of the team. Right now, Sergio Perez is likely leaving. Yuki Tsunoda might be promoted, but he's not the star Max is. Mercedes is rebuilding with young stars like Kimi Antonelli. Ferrari is getting stronger with Charles Leclerc and Ollie Behrman. Aston Martin is throwing around huge amounts of money. If Max leaves, Red Bull would lose more than just a driver. They would lose their top spot in Formula One. They would become just another team trying to catch up. And speaking of Aston Martin, they are very serious. They aren't just offering Max a lot of money. They are offering him a future. Aston Martin has new facilities. They have big plans. They have a boss, Lawrence Stroll, who believes if something isn't good enough, you just buy a better version. Right now, Max Verstappen is the best version of a Formula One driver you can get. Aston Martin knows that if they want to build a new legacy, Max is the foundation they need. Even though Max hasn't said yes to Aston Martin, he hasn't said no either. He is being very smart. He is watching everything. He is waiting. He is measuring Red Bull's problems against the promises that Aston Martin and maybe even other teams are making. If Aston Martin's offer is as good as it sounds, Red Bull has a real fight on their hands. And Aston Martin isn't the only one waiting. Mercedes is in the background too. Mercedes is quieter than Aston Martin. They aren't making big public moves. They are watching and planning. Mercedes hates losing, especially losing to Red Bull. Stealing Max Verstappen would be the best way for Mercedes to take back the top spot. With young stars coming through and a solid structure already in place, Mercedes would be the perfect place for Max to start a new era of dominance. The atmosphere at Mercedes might be colder, but the rewards could be even bigger. So in the end, this isn't just a story about Red Bull and Aston Martin. It's a story about Red Bull versus the whole world. Red Bull thought they could stay on top forever, but now they are facing real threats from every side. And Max is right in the middle of it. He has all the power. Red Bull needs to move fast. They need to fix the car. They need to fix the internal problems. They need to remind Max why he trusted them in the first place. It's no longer about contracts. Max might be tied to Red Bull until 2028 on paper, but that's not what matters anymore. What matters is how he feels about the team's future. Max won't stay just because he's supposed to. He'll stay if he believes Red Bull can win. If they don't convince him soon, he will leave. And if he leaves, Red Bull's era of dominance will end with him. Max's silence has been broken, but his message was very controlled, very careful, and very powerful. He's not running away, but he's also not chained down. He's waiting to see if Red Bull can become the team he once believed in. Meanwhile, Aston Martin is ready with their huge offer. Mercedes is quietly setting traps, and the rest of the paddock is watching with excitement. Red Bull is still fast. They are still proud, but they are also messy right now. And Max Verstappen is the most important piece on the chessboard. He's playing a long game. Everyone else is panicking, but Max is waiting, watching, planning. Whether he stays or goes will depend entirely on what Red Bull does next. If they act like the team that built a dynasty around him, maybe he stays. If not, the Max Verstappen era at Red Bull could come to an end much sooner than anyone thought. Now, every race, every update, every word from Red Bull's leaders will matter. They are not just fighting for wins anymore, they are fighting for their future. Max has spoken. The silence is over. What happens next is up to Red Bull, and time is running out.